friends. Welcome to Lazy Lab Podcast here at Bitterwater Outfitters in California. Paso, Robles, I believe is where we're at, right? So it's a very good time, very good weekend. I can't wait to talk about it. With me today, I have two great friends here. I've got my good friend Jace Pacheco, who's the hero for the hunt, and I've got Shane Luttrell, who's the president of Operation Hunt for Heroes. So we're going to have a little show for you here to talk about the weekend. We're going to talk about Jason and his great jokes that he loves to tell. And it's going to be a really good time. Thanks, as always, to Boar Coffee Roasters for providing the caffeine for this trip. Thanks to Chris Strawn, Vice President of the Lazy Lab Hunting Club, in the background, putting everything together, being the audio engineer. And a huge shout-out to Bitterwater Outfitters for putting on an outstanding weekend for us. Just great guided tours, and they're top-notch, top-class organization outfitters. So let's jump right into it. They know me. They don't know you, so let's just start there. We'll start with Shane. Why don't you go first? Just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so my name's Shane Luttrell. I was in the Army for 6 years, 4 months, and I did a couple fun schools while I was in. I got out and been a student full-time. I'm pursuing my master's degree in kinesiology right now, and don't know what I want to be when I grow up still, so I tell all the other 18, 19, 20-year-old kids that I'm in school with. But I had the opportunity to do a VA work study with Portrait of a Warrior Gallery, Kern County, which got me into kind of the nonprofit world. Jason Geis, the vice president who was at the hunt yesterday and last night, got me involved with Operation Hunt for Heroes, and then the first board meeting was like, hey, Shane would be a good president. Everyone unanimously agreed, so I've been running with it the last year and a half with some ups and downs in COVID, and then when Lazy Lab Hunting Club reached out to Bitterwater Outfitters, Clayton Grant, the owner of Bitterwater Outfitters, gave me Lazy Lab's information, talked to Matt Mitchelson, and made this awesome experience happen.
That's awesome. And Operation Hunt for Heroes, you guys have been around, like you said, for a couple years, right?
About a year and a half, almost 2 years now, with some breaks in there with some growing pains, getting some blood going. But we've done, I believe, 11 hunts now where it's for veterans, service members who have service-connected disabilities. As of right now, we don't have a rating cutoff. We just need to say, hey, you're service-connected, and you get to attend the hunt. Yeah. We get put on the list. It goes by first come, first serve right now, unless it's a kind of last wish, hey, he's wanting to do a hunt, he's older, kind of thing. We obviously front load, make arrangements for stuff like that, and then making new partnerships to where we can, get individuals like Jason who never heard about us, and then you guys reach out to him and get some more people coming. So hopefully more than one hunt a month.
Yeah, it'd be great to get to that point where you got more than one hunt a month. But one a month is even really, it's more than zero. Yeah, that's for sure, right? And that's the important statistic there, is like you're doing something for veterans, you're doing something to, kind of further the mission of serving people, right? And speaking of reaching out to folks, serving people, we also have our friend Jace Pacheco, who's the hero for this weekend's hunt, and outstanding marksman with the bow. I mean, that was it was a pretty cool weekend. We'll get into that. But Jason, we brought you into the hunt. Obviously, your bio spoke to us as one that we thought, man, let's do something great for this guy. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, and then let's get into like the bio and tell folks about your service story, and then we'll talk about the hunt.
All right.
Yeah.
A little bit about myself, Jason Pacheco. I was born and raised in Las Vegas, New Mexico. Joined the Marine Corps right after high school. Was in for just a little over 13 years, 10 of which I was a scout sniper. So got to do a lot of cool stuff. Yeah. About 5 years through my enlistment, I lost my leg in Afghanistan when I stepped on an IED, and then I fought, despite what everyone else said, to stay in and continue to serve, and went back to Afghan, came back from Afghan, and then continued just to do to try to help everyone else that was going through stuff, the people that were wounded and the things I had been through, like things I was struggling through with and you know, share my story. And I guess that's what kind of brought me here today.
Yeah. He breezes through it a little bit, but I mean, like, I was always taken aback by, like, you fought to stay active, like full service, like that part of it. I'm sure you received like a ton of push to just, hey, you know, no shame and walking away, being done. What was it that made you want to keep going? And like, no one would have faulted you, I guess is the point. Like, no one would have been like, what? Like, you don't want to come back? They would have been like, dude, I totally go, please go relax, like, you know, enjoy your life and stuff like that. Why come back?
I guess I haven't always been very smart, so no. Just the love and the passion for what I did. You know, I never had a job. I never like felt like I had a job or had to go to work. Like being in the sniper community, it's a constant like battle, like jockeying for position for like who's the top dog, you know. And everyone just always so like gung ho about like bettering themselves and learning things, and not only that but like giving back to the other guys. When I got hurt, I was in the hospital and they came in, they told me, you know, you can either you can start your medical retirement or you can lat move, which changed my MOS, my job. And I was like, nope. And they're like, well, what are you gonna do? I was like, I'm gonna stay in. And they're like, all right, well, we're gonna have to lat move. And I was like, I'm not lat moving. So when they're like, well, what do you think you're gonna do? I was like, I'm going back to Afghan. This is just temporary, slowing me down, you know. So of course they looked at me like I was crazy, but you know, I just fought to never take no for an answer, and I ended up passing my PFT, my CFT, and they found me fit for full duty. So I was just like anybody else, but at the same time, I still had to keep up and compete with guys with 2 legs. Like it wasn't too bad. I mean, if I can run around on something like this, you know, and like beat people with 2 legs, and I don't know. Maybe I'm doing something good and they're not. I don't know. Maybe they're doing something bad.
Step it up, right? Step it up.
But I pretty much I give all that to like the community I grew up in, with the sniper community, and then just that drive to constantly be better, and it's just a hunger, you know, and it still burned in me. And I was like, I had worked so hard to get to where I was. I was a scout sniper team leader when I got hurt, and you know, I couldn't just let that all go away. That and like meeting the guys I met in the hospital. I'm sure we all saw that same thing. You see guys that are amputees or double amps, stuff like that, and the fire still burns in their heart, but like physically, realistically, they wouldn't be able to do it. So I was like, well, if I can do it, like I'm gonna do it, not only for them, but for the guys that passed away, you know, because like they would in a heartbeat still be here doing doing stuff, and I just like, I don't know, maybe it was a little crazy, but you know, I just did it, you know.
Still have fight left in you, right? That's
sure.
I mean, kudos. That's crazy that you know what you went through to then want to go back and get some more, you know. That's outstanding. The how many, like, what's the timeline for that, right? So you obviously have to recover from your wounds. So like, how much time elapsed from when you got injured to when you know, were able to start working towards getting back to full duty?
So it took me so I got blown up August 3rd, 2010. Had a blast though.
Had a blast.
But
these are the jokes. These are the jokes all weekend.
Date of injury to like 3 months. It took me about 3 months to learn how to walk. And the only reason it took so long, like some guys were up in like a month. Month and a half, something like that. But so this leg got taken. Had a whole lot of laundry list of injuries. I won't really get into all of them, but this leg, I almost lost this leg because it's from like 3 inches below my knee all the way up to my groin. The whole front of my leg was gone to the bone.
Wow.
So they had to like literally like Frankenstein me back together. So there's like pig cadaver tendon in there and shark tissue.
Shark tissue.
Yeah. I don't know what kind of shark it is, but I like to say it's a great white.
That's a great white, yeah.
It's gotta be. It's gotta be. So, so they had to wait for this one to heal, and that's the thing that took the longest. And then once that healed and these stitches were done, I like was so eager to get up and start moving and doing stuff, because I was like, all right, well, I gotta get going.
Yeah,
I need to get back. You know. So, I just pushed through the cliche, right? The blood, sweat, and tears, and that's exactly what it was. To get up and get going. And probably about the 5-6 month mark, I was jogging, you know.
Yeah,
so like
it's a soft J.
starting to run and do stuff like that. And I left the hospital. I left Wounded Warrior, and I was able to go back to my unit with 2nd Battalion 4th Marines, back to my sniper platoon, work with them a little bit, teaching the new guys. And then they're getting ready to go to Afghan again, and a spot opened up because I had a bunch of surgeries and stuff, and I didn't really want to keep a spot from the platoon and leave them one man down.
Yeah.
So I left to pre-sniper, took an instructor role there, and while I was doing that, I was able to do like a couple other like minor surgeries and stuff I had there, and still train and get back to where I needed to be. I wasn't quite there when they left in August of 2011. I had passed my PFT, but I was like 14 seconds away from passing the CFT, the combat fitness test. The big killer for me was like the buddy drag and then the fireman carry. But I did it. I just didn't do it in the allotted time that they want. So I was like, oh man. And then right around that time was when I was teaching as a marksman instructor, so I was teaching like multiple shooting positions and like how you can use anything to shoot off of, and that's where the picture of me shooting out of my prosthetic with the M40 in there came, and I thought it was like a funny thing, you know, we're hitting targets on it and teaching the students, and they're like getting a kick out of it. They had no idea I was even an amputee. They just thought something was wrong with my leg. So like seeing the look on their face, and then after that, like everything kind of changed, and then that picture went viral, and the commandant and the sergeant major of the Marine Corps got a hold of it, and then Sergeant Major Barrett had got a hold of me, sergeant major of the Marine Corps, and they were like, hey, this is awesome. Like, if we can do anything for you, like, you let us know. We need more Marines like you. Stay in the fight. Like, keep doing what you're doing. Yeah. And he's like, you need anything, you let me know. So I was like, well, since you're asking, my guy's leaving, like, I think it was like a week or something like that, and I haven't passed my CFT. I've done it, I just haven't been able to pass in the time. And he's like, get a hold of me when you do it. Don't stop. So I was like, all right. And then, to make the long story short, I ended up finally passing it, and I passed it, you know, and I got a hold of him. I was like, hey, I passed. And then it had to go through like all the chains of like all the sergeant majors down, you know, and they were like, he's good. And then I just had to finish all the workup training like as fast as I could. Yeah. So long story short, I ended up passing everything, got cleared, was back in Afghan, I want to say November of 2011, so about 15 months after I lost my leg. And
wow. 15 months after you lost your
Yeah. Like I said, I've never been very smart. But
it's just like
stubborn.
Determination, man.
Yeah.
That's stubborn like the Ram today. You know, that's
man. That's a whole other story.
Well, I mean, we could definitely go down into the hunt thing. Well, let's talk about 15 months, you're back out in Afghanistan. When was it that you walked away, you decided to be done?
So like I said, I went back to Afghan. I came back. I was like one of the first amputees to go, one of the Marine Corps first amputees in the Marine Corps to go back, still being in combat MOS. Another one of my buddies was 2-5. He had lost his hand, and he went back as well. And then I think he got out when he returned, but I still had a lot left to give, so I went back to pre-sniper. I taught for multiple more years, and then I finally went to infantry training battalion. I taught regular infantry battalion tactics and stuff over there, all medical stuff, IEDs, like go figure, right? And you know, like my students, like all the instructors and like my higher ups were like, I've never seen people listen like they've listened when you give the class, and it's just from having that, you know, and letting them know and showing them, and like they're like, holy crap, like okay, like this is why we got to listen, you know. So that was cool. And then I went over to sniper school and I got teach there for a while, and then that was like pretty much like the peak of my career. Like the thing I wanted to do the most was get back and give back to the community that had given so much to me. And I was able to do that for a little bit, and then I went and there's really nothing going on anymore, and I had a couple of surgeries I've been putting off, so I went and had the remaining surgeries and pretty much got fixed up as much as they'll be able to fix me up. And once that was done, I was like, yeah, I think I'm okay with leaving and closing this chapter and starting another one, you know. So that's what I did. And then medically retired, and now I'm kind of just enjoying the retired life and trying to still help people with like my story, not just like what I've done. That helps people like leaps and bounds. Like initially, all the stuff like people are like, man, inspirational, like motivational stuff. Like I'd go give speeches, and then what really kind of made me come out of my shell for a lot of stuff was like everyone saw like the nice happy stuff about like my story, right? Yeah. And like we all know, there's veteran suicide rates really high. I've had multiple of my friends kill themselves, and in March of 2018 I went down a really dark path, and that almost was me. And the very next day after that happened, I had not gone to mental health like at all in 8 years since the day I was injured. I just kind of I ran from everything. Yeah. I just stayed busy. Stay busy in my, you know, in work and doing all that stuff and trying to get back out with my friends and go hunting, hiking, fishing, just the love of the outdoors, something to keep my mind off of that but still make me feel good, you know, like I had a purpose. And then once that happened, I got scared shitless, and I was like, holy crap, like I should have, for one, been one of those people that like should have valued life because I was given a second chance after I got blown up. And then to be given a third chance, because I didn't go through with it, I was like, I'm obviously here for like a greater purpose, and there's no other explanation for why I was given another chance. So I started I remember the way I felt and how horrible it was and how alone I felt, and I never wanted anybody to feel like that again. And I was like, you know what, it might like hurt my pride and all that, but that doesn't matter. Like if it saves somebody, like a veteran or even just some regular civilian person, you know, it doesn't matter. So then I started like sharing my story and being like, hey, you might see all these happy smiley faces and stuff on Facebook, but behind the scenes, like people that are struggling with stuff, they're not really going to tell you. So then I started just, you know, I just a couple posts on social media, and I was like, hey, I'm tired of opening my social media and seeing like so-and-so just killed himself. They lost their fight with their demons and stuff because we were all there together, and just because we left the fight there doesn't mean that we're still not here for each other here. I think a lot of people struggled with that, and they thought that they were alone, and they didn't want to reach out because they didn't want to feel like they weren't strong or macho, you know. So then I just spilled the beans on everything, and I let people know like what I had gone through and what happened to me and my story going back, and how it was shared was both like a positive and a negative portion in my life. It helped me in so many ways, but it hurt me like in a lot, like with my relationship and stuff with my family. But you know, it just I just couldn't sit back and just keep seeing these things all the time, like, and
it's hard. Like, it's repetitive, right? Because it's like one of those things that it's like, geez, again, and we're kind of programmed to want to find answers to problems, and it seems to be that problem that right now, like we can't solve, and it's you're not alone in the veteran community is trying to fix that thing and trying to solve that thing. It plays us all. Like if I bet every single one of us or any veteran you talk to has a list of folks that they served with or that they know that has lost that battle. It's terrible. It's the worst. And I wish that there was a way to combat that. Getting outside, getting outdoors, like with things that we did this weekend, is an easy way to for some of us to kind of fight off those demons and fight off those feelings. We kind of talked about that last night, where it makes you feel smaller, it humbles you, and it puts in perspective like you're part of something big. You're part of something that goes beyond the comprehension of what can be designed by man. And that's the whole point of this thing, is that like there's a plan for you, which is why you're still here, right? That's why you're getting those chances, and we're not in charge, and that's what the outdoors makes you realize really quickly, is you're not in charge, so you're not in control. You're a speck of sand in this universe. So it was, this weekend was great. Like I know that's probably where we're driving right with the conversation is, we had a great time, and it's organizations like Operation Hunt for Hero and Lazy Lab Hunting Club that gets to give someone like you a chance to come out and do this stuff. And also through the podcast, through the video that we put together and shot over the weekend, it really gives us a chance to get that message out there. Like, hey, you can come be outdoors, you can come get out in the woods and look for, you don't even have to shoot an animal, man. There was you're the only one that hunted. The rest of us were just along for the ride, but I could tell you right now, Shane and I were having a great time watching the pursuit.
Camaraderie that got built where we never even met each other.
All different services. Shooting the jokes around. A whole lot of horrible feet jokes for me on the most part.
Blaine's out of here,
and
Dugan's out of here. There's our guides right there. Thank you for you. Different branches of service, and never met each other before, and they're okay. Yeah, I think they're trying to hightail out of here, right? Yeah,
there you go. Yeah, it's crazy. So like, just we all just clicked, it's like we were kind of like we served together, the crap talking, and
we were stuck outside when I showed up for 30 minutes. When I was only talked to Chris before that, and I was like, I should probably meet Chris because he's the one that I was talking to,
right?
Found out he was an Army sniper, and he's humble, so he didn't tell us, but neither of us can shoot worth a shit, which is why I brought my bow.
It was. I mean,
what fun on the range!
What a great weekend! Yeah, fun on the range.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Some of us more fun than others.
Yeah,
some of us, some of us caught a little fury from the firearm. Scoped ourselves. No big deal. But let's get into it. So, we, for the viewer, for the listener, however you're digesting this conversation, we went out on Friday, in the afternoon, evening, and looking for a hog, right? And it was a great time. So we have tell us about the land. It's 12,000.
It's 12,000 acres where we hunted. It's 350,000 that Bitterwater Outfitters has access to. We kind of have a little spot for the veterans to go to where you're going to get a shot. You're going to get an animal. Sometimes it's easier than others, as we experienced between the 2 days.
That's for
the pig was still fun, little stock, and then 4 hours chasing the ram around today. But the Bitterwater Outfitters guys have it down. It's what they do every day.
Yeah.
Like we saw even when the animals were being slippery, we still sealed the deal and got on them. But they do. If for anybody we have a waiting list for the hunts, we can get something arranged. But for anybody who just wants to come to Shandon, California, is where we are right now. The hunt's Kern County for the game ranch, but they offer wild pigs, turkey, deer, buffalo, like we saw this morning getting cut up. Pretty much any animal they have here, they have it set up and dialed in to where obviously deer you get more than a day, especially like Jason knows, hunting deer in California isn't sitting in a tree stand and waiting for them to walk by. Got to put in some work.
Yeah.
But
I put that leg work in.
Yeah, they have it down. I mean, they skin the animal. By the time we were unloading everything,
I'm telling you,
so efficient. In what
they've got a system here. Like it is, it's pretty outstanding. The way they skin the animal, goes straight into the cooler.
Yeah, out of the truck, skinned, quartered, cooler. Flat pass.
Like 5 minutes, right? Maybe 5 minutes, I think tops. Which is what you want, right? Because as soon as you make the kill, you're in a battle you're in a race to cool it down, right? And save the meat.
5 out, like today.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a cool breezy 105 today. We had some elevation gain, right? Up and down.
We tried running up.
We did. We tried.
We made it halfway.
We realized, like, this is a fruitless effort going up this hill because the
Dugan to the save.
Yeah, I think we got some pretty bad sunburn today too.
So we come up on let's start with the pig, right? So come up on the pig, and that was nice little. I mean, it's a nice little stock, right? Because we identified them up on a far ridge, and we moved in on them. And kind of hiked up this hillside until we got to some cover, right? And let them come into shot a little bit. What was going through your head at that time, Jason? Besides, don't miss, because I'll never hear the end of it.
Also, I'll never hear the end of that if I miss, right? Just trying to play like the cat and mouse game. I got to get at least a couple steps ahead of them, trying to pretty much get them in an ambush so they walk out and don't know where we're at, so I get a good shot. Wanted to make sure that I was paying attention to Deegan, my guide, and I didn't want to like do anything to like bust it up or whatever. Try not to fall on my face, sliding with this thing, but still trying to keep my eyes up to find out what's going on. It was a little bit of a stalk, a couple 100 yards, but it wasn't too bad. Yeah. It's actually kind of nice because it wasn't too hot either, so that was good. We're in the brush, and they had been side skirting when we had seen them, so we tried to get around in front of them so they would walk into us, and we were kind of tunnel visioned into all the sagebrush that was there and looking for them, and they ended up having a different idea and came up above us on the opening and ended up having to drop back down and J-hook around them and get to that little draw. Then we got right back on them, got to that bush, and I think it was like a 30 yards or something like that. 30.
That was a great shot too. I mean, with a bow, you don't typically see an animal go down, that close to where it was hit. Yeah. And that it was a clean kill, is what you want to see. So, of course, you can see that on the YouTube channel because we're going to have some video footage from this weekend. You can see that on the live events playlist. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel because that's always important. Try to grow that subscribership because it helps us out. And if you hit the little bell on there, you'll know when we post new videos, which should be every Friday. It was cool to see you and Dugan, the guide, working together and formulating a strategy on how how to make that shot. Chris and myself were sat back and to the left, so we had a good view of both the animal and you and Dugan. It was a neat vantage point to kind of capture the hunt, which was really, really cool. You guys were up.
Yeah, we were up on the hill where we saw him at first, so we got the bird's eye view of it all.
There you go.
Seeing you guys move up and then stand on top of the hill and trying to be like, they're going that way while you guys are coming down, and luckily you guys saw them, so it worked out pretty much perfect. But as I said, look like ants. We were probably 500 yards up above you.
Yeah.
Seeing you guys inch along and then redirect.
Yeah, that probably looked a little funny. Huh? You're like, no.
Go
that way.
And they're just moving bush to bush.
Yeah.
So if you guys didn't look at the right time, they were gone.
Yeah, that bush.
You guys cut up the hill, and then watching Dugan have you walk up right beside them, and then pull back, and like you said, seeing Luminok even from there, just flying through there.
Yeah, they all kind of consolidated in one bush. And they're all the same size, so it really didn't matter. There wasn't one specific one we were going for, but just trying to get an opportunity and then have a good, clean, ethical shot.
Yeah.
And just waiting for a time, it to present itself, and then that one popped out, and perfect.
That was it.
Outside shot, and let her fly.
Yeah, I think it's one of the cooler parts of this weekend was the bow aspect, right? Just using a bow instead of a rifle, and obviously you have to get closer to the animal, and it was a really fun hunt. It was a fun way to experience.
Yeah.
If you're gonna watch a hunt, that's the way to do it, right? It's here you are, a sniper by trade. And then you pull the bow out. I thought that was really cool.
Well, coming from our background, we still love hunting. Don't get that wrong. But it's like we were just talking about earlier. It's not about the harvest. It's about the memories and all the people you meet along the way. The challenge, and what better challenge for us. I can go rifle hunt and get something and still be grateful and thankful, but the challenge isn't that much. And like I said, I'm not very smart, so I like the challenge, and I'll go and beat myself up if I have to.
If you had to feed yourself, if you were hunting to feed yourself and you relied on that, you probably take a rifle, right? But you're there for the. Oh, he's considering.
Now you're giving him a challenge. It's
think about it. Yeah, you are only allowed to eat what you kill from now on. For a whole year.
For a whole year?
What are you taking?
What am I taking?
Yeah, what are you taking? How are you taking down animals?
We got to get into the details of all this.
How hungry is he?
How many rounds would I get? I mean, you can reuse an arrow. You can't reuse a round.
You get a box of rounds per month.
Oh. I like the struggle. The struggle's real. I'd still take a bow. I'd still take a bow.
Respect.
There's so much more you get out of it, I think you kind of just tune in to the whole I don't know, old school, just feels I don't know, being out in the woods and the wilderness.
It's like a primal aspect to it. Yeah.
It's actually pretty cool. And then you got to outsmart anybody can get a rifle and see something a couple hundred yards away and
still
dial on and touch it, but to outsmart the animal and make a clean kill on it, there's just something about that it's more intimate for sure.
Yeah.
And I think you get to appreciate it a whole lot more. Let's
talk about outsmarting the animal, because I think that came into play today, right? We'll get into the ram. We did that this morning. So we show up. 7? Supposed to be 7:30. We were a little bit late, a little bit tardy.
Oh yeah,
getting here, but that's okay. Because it was still good timing. The other group was coming in, offloading the buffalo that they harvested. But we went out to get the ram, and it was still the same game plan, right? Still wanted to kill it with the bow.
Mm-hmm.
Wanted to get a good spot and stock going. But it was tough.
Oh yeah, that's an understatement for sure. Oh
Yeah.
man.
He almost hit his time limit to switch over.
Yeah. Until I said noon. If I haven't got one off by noon, then I'm gonna switch to rifle. But
But we
I'm
chased
glad we got
those
it done.
things, right?
Yeah,
I'm glad
Stock,
too.
a
We
couple
put a
times.
stock on it.
4 times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
first stock was good. We were right there, yeah, but they were just over the crest on the backside of the slope, and there just happened to be an embankment right where those trees were. And when Blaine, our guide, came over, he saw the top of their head. He came back and let me know. So I started scooting over there real quiet, and I think I had him like at 38 yards. The cut was for like 32, so I was getting ready to drop back, and all I could see was the top of their head, so I thought they were bedded.
Yeah.
But they were standing straight up. This is how steep that was. And,
Wow.
And that one black and white one, like he was not having it. He was like their leader. He'd see one of us and he'd just take off. So that was the first one blown. I didn't even get to draw back. And I don't think I even saw the one that I was after, the brown one, initially that first one, because they boogered out of there. So that was attempt number one.
Attempt number one. We chased them up and down a few ravines and peaks, and it took a couple tries.
Yeah.
But we finally got him into a place where you were able to get in behind this dead fallen tree.
Mm-hmm.
I was not. Shane and I were not in a position to see where the ram was in relation to where you were positioned.
Mm-hmm.
We got to see you take the shot, but it was not clear to us whether or not you had hit anything. So talk to us about sort of the shot setup and where that ram was. And
Yeah, so we're going up that side of that draw, so I was like, if they go all the way to the top, I can still come up behind them and come around the top of it if I have to. But about 3/4 up that draw on that side of the slope of that hill, where it was a big cluster of those oak trees, and I knew that they were gonna want to bed because it was getting hot, and
they've been
I
running.
boogered them already like 3 other times, and so I was like, all right, I know they're gonna hang out in that shade, so I need to get to this. I was like, where can I get that I could possibly have a shot? So we went behind the trees, Chris and I, and saw this big oak tree, this big dead oak tree that had fallen over, and I was like, that's like the perfect place to be, because it gives me complete like cover from them the entire time, so made our way up to that, kind of peeked over, and there they were, like 42 yards is when I first ranged them out, and they were still kind of making their way, headed towards the top, and they were looking up. I ranged them out. He took a couple of steps forward, and here's like 47 yards. So I kind of collected myself, and I drew back, made sure that Chris could see and what was going on, and make sure I was waiting for one of the sheep behind, the black and white one that kept busting me, to clear, because where his vitals were, the back end of him was like right behind him, so I didn't have a shot. And then he took like 5 or 6 steps up at an angle, and he stopped, and I was like, oh, there we go. Pinned him and let it fly, and when I let it fly, like he didn't like jump, didn't flinch, nothing, and I saw the luminoc flying right where it needed to, and then it dropped, and then I saw it fly off, and I was like, what? He took off just straight away, like didn't even act like he was hit, and I was like, there's no way I just went right underneath this thing. So I was like trying to, like, in my head, I don't want to look back and be like, like I missed. So I was like, okay, I don't want to celebrate, but I knew it was a good shot, and I was like, oh no. So I was like kind of second guessing myself. I was like, did you hit him? And I was like, I don't know. But then I looked, and from where I was looking, if I would have missed, it would have been, the arrow because of the angle I was shooting
Yeah.
at, would have been stuck like
in the
2
ground.
feet, like in the ground behind him, and it was like 12 yards off because it went like this. So then I kind of like was putting it together in my head, and I was like, well, if it hit him and it passed through, it's gonna move, and I'm gonna see my Luminoc do what it did. So I was like, okay, I'm pretty sure I'm like 50% confident in this. And as I started getting closer to that arrow, you know, they kind of like boogered off over the finger, and as I'm walking up, the arrow was just bright red. So I was like, I got him. Then I was like, oh, it kind of like put me at peace. So we're able to like give him some time and get up there. But yeah, like I did a second guess like the entire thing. I was like, I know that was a good shot, but it didn't look kind of what it did after, like didn't look good. So I was like, but it ended up being good. Double longed him, and
Well, it was a beautiful ram, and when we got up there to see it, it was a sight to behold. It was worth the chase, right?
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. What a trip! What an event! Obviously, I want to thank again Bitterwater Outfitters. I get flies in my face here, but Bitterwater Outfitters for letting us use the land and have this time. I want to thank Shane and Operation Hunt for Heroes for co-sponsoring this with us and really coming on board with Lazy Lab Hunting Club and letting us put together this great event for Jason. Jason, thanks for coming out and
thanks for having me
and being part of it, man.
guys.
It's special for us, and this is what we do. You know, this Lazy Lab is all about helping significantly or profoundly wounded veterans get outdoors and experience hunting. And, we're a faith-based organization at the same time, and it's all about, loving God by loving people and taking care of people, which is something that I think we do a great job of, right?
Yep.
And this event's always, this one in particular is going to be real special. It's going to stand out to me for a long time. Yeah,
it's definitely, us at Operation Hunt for Heroes definitely appreciate Lazy Lab including us on it, because like I said, you guys didn't have to at all. So it was a great opportunity for us. And I see us doing our hunts more towards the way you guys did, where even if it's just we get the hunter out Saturday night to stay at the cabins at an Airbnb to where we can get a meal and sit with them, because we've only been doing the hunts, which is better than nothing. But seeing the camaraderie where everyone used to not worry about the hunt, hang out, talk, eat something, and then go have some fun chasing some animals, getting in the outdoors. It's, I think, a good direction for us to take it.
Yeah, the fellowship aspect of it's just as important as getting outdoors piece, right? And to that same point, like we did like hang out at an Airbnb. We were hanging out in the house, and we broke bread together, and we got to know each other better, and just had a great time. Shout out to John and Jeremy who cooked for us. They did an outstanding job. The food was top notch. Feel very fortunate, very blessed, very lucky to be included on this weekend, to work with the folks that we've worked with, and I look forward to doing more of these. It's a very, very good time. Any final shots? Any final things? We could start a timer and see how many jokes you can get off.
Oh yeah.
How many jokes you can get off in 60
all
seconds?
Be horrible. I'll tell you that. No, I just wanted to say thank you guys for giving me the opportunity to come out and not only like share my story, hopefully it helps other people, but make new friends, memories, new experiences, and I'm just glad to be a part of all this stuff. It's pretty awesome. But
it's special for all of us, man. We really appreciate having you, Shane. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Obviously, big thanks to Jason Geis as well, who's I know you guys worked together on putting this together. It was really special. The presentation last night was awesome, and it meant a lot to us.
Yeah, that was awesome.
So yeah, I mean, listen, you can find us anywhere where you find podcasts. We would love for you to go over to YouTube and check out the video that we put together. We've got a lot of other videos out there that show some other hunts that we've been on. It is new, so we are trying to grow. So tell your friends, tell your family to subscribe, and thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Lazy Lab Podcast. Till next time, stay safe and God bless. Awesome.
Nice.
That's a wrap,
I said
fellas.
shit.